Mid-May to mid-June in Santa Fe was a bit cooler and wetter than normal. If you were to read newspaper precipitation totals, you'd be inclined to believe we'll close out June with above-average rainfall. But Ed Pelasco, hydrologist with the National Weather Service in Albuquerque, says official readings for Santa Fe are taken from instruments on the city's south side, and they tell a different story.
They seem to have missed a good bit of the precipitation so far this month. Actually, they're only running a little over a quarter of an inch for the entire month, whereas the normal for June would be about 1 and almost a quarter inches of precipitation. So what this shows is that, yeah, there has been some precipitation around, enough clouds and showers, spotty showers, to keep the temperatures below normal, at least up until this week when we're finally catching up with the temperatures here. But some parts of town have done well, and other parts of town have gone, didn't really get as much precipitation as you did across town.
After today's sunny skies, there's a 20% chance for precipitation each day this week. Is this the beginning of our monsoon? Pelasco says could be.
Right now, the pattern that would lead to the monsoon looks awfully monsoon-like. The moisture is trying to come up from the south. We've got a high-pressure center over Texas where it's just been very, very hot and humid from Texas all the way over Louisiana, Mississippi. Those folks have been pretty much baking along with the humidity. And the high pressure there and the circulation around that is kind of clockwise, so that helps draw moisture from the Gulf of Mexico up through Mexico into New Mexico. And at the same time, we have a bit of a low-pressure system sitting off of Southern California, which, the counterclockwise flow on that one tends to want to draw the moisture from south to north. This is one way in which we start our monsoon pattern. So the moisture is out there. It's kind of on the doorstep. And then the only question is does it come in as a surge or does it kind of come in with a whimper? Right now, those 20% chances aren't indicative of anything really important just yet, but it could be the start of the monsoon as we know it.
Pelasco says the Weather Service is projecting summer rainfall to be very close to averages.
The La Nina is pretty much gone, and we're trending in the direction of El Nino. Now, those kinds of features are very important for New Mexico and northern New Mexico especially in the fall and in the spring. The winter, we're highly dependent on the storm track. If we happen to get into the storm track, we can do pretty well. But having said that, the monsoon season really is sort of a different animal. We're not really very dependent upon storm tracks. We're dependent on isolated or very localized moisture flows. And we're kind of in a position where none of our signals either point to an above or below normal monsoon, so you kind of shoot down the middle and hope for the best.
And of our recent rains, Pelasco says they've been of service in reducing the risk of what had been shaping up to be a potentially severe wildfire season across the state.
That mid-May to mid-June period where we had cooler temperatures, we had showers around, it sure did help on the potential what was shaping up to be a pretty nasty fire season. And right now, we don't see that hot, dry period that we could have had from mid-May to mid-June. We didn't get that, so maybe the good news is that kept the potential for large disastrous fires kind of at bay. And so, maybe we've dodged that, and in this part of the world, that's pretty important.
Ed Pelasco at the National Weather Service in Albuquerque on At Noon.